Action!
All right, go ahead.
Welcome to the ideal boardroom. I've dreamed about a day that my boardroom would look like this, and my dad always said, if you're the smartest man in the room, you're in the wrong room. And as you look around, I know I'm in the wrong room. So thank you all for Thank you, Giggles. I want to welcome my esteemed host, Kedma, and of course, Precious, and our host over there. Good to see you, Denise. And of course, most importantly to you, our investors. They will give you the constructive input to hopefully allow you to make a lot of money, to help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. We're super excited to have you here. The floor is yours.
Hey, I'm Kyle Walgren, and my company's Edsoma. We're real-time literacy with real-time data. I want to ask all you guys, how many of you are parents? So I'm going to ask a really simple question. What would you do for your kids to give them a head start? I think we all know the answer is anything. So for me, I grew up in Canada. I moved to America 5 years ago on an E2 investment visa. COVID shut down the borders. Our lives were flipped upside down. The world changed. For me, that change was that I didn't get to see my children.
Sorry, Adam, apparently, are you not hearing me? Can you hear me now?
No.
You have to have this in. That's got to be in and on channel 4. And on. Check his radio.
Take the lead.
Sorry, people. Check your radio, make sure it's on. And you're on channel 4.
Let's go to the Bakerlands.
God, I had such a good shot.
It wasn't the
Yes.
shot that I needed.
Just frame off these lights, Adam. Frame off.
Okay.
Don't show these lights.
Okay. Now let's test. Can you hear me now?
Testing.
Can you hear me?
I do.
That's just fun.
You hear me?
I do.
Looks good to me. Yeah, kids.
At least you guys are having fun, I hope. Sorry. Okay,
Thank
are we
you.
ready?
Sorry, everyone.
Is this one still rolling?
Yes.
Yes,
Where to
it
go
is.
All right.
Are we ready?
I'm going to stay focused on you guys.
Okay, now we have.
Where are we starting?
20 minutes to take.
Where are we starting from?
Is the pitch for him?
I'm
Roll
ready.
action.
All right,
Where are we
cheers.
starting from?
Introduce yourself.
Action!
From the beginning.
Me?
No,
The beginning.
The very beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it one more try. The second one was so funny.
it was so
All
perfect.
right, ready?
Say again.
Sorry. All right.
Keep going.
See, this one's obviously funny.
Let's do
We're
it.
already
Say
laughing.
again.
Adam,
Oh,
can you
he's
hear me?
talking.
Yes, I can.
Then I told you to get a 3 shot of these 2 people.
I've got them.
Zoom in.
I've got them. Yeah.
There you go. Good. Good. Perfect.
All the way into just the 3 people.
Got it.
Go ahead, zoom in. I'm waiting.
Zoom in more.
Zoom in more. Zoom in more.
Nicole's great.
Really?
More.
Make sure you get the hairs in my
Go
nose.
on until you have only the 3 people at the end of the table.
Right there. You're good.
All right.
Tilt down.
Not
Tilt
2
down.
times to zoom out.
Tilt down, down.
Tilt it down a little bit.
Can you hear me? Tilt down.
I can.
Tilt down a little bit.
Choke down?
Tilt
Tilt.
down.
This is better TV.
Robert, make her.
Right there. Behind the scenes.
Where's Rob Deerdeck?
Zoom back in.
Okay, all right.
Is that good?
We'll put this on
Zoom
NT.
back in.
Oh, gotcha. How's that?
Tighter, tighter.
Sorry.
Keep going.
All right.
Zoom in tighter. Zoom in tighter.
I'm going.
Tighter, tighter,
Stop.
tighter,
Really?
tighter.
Okay.
Now tilt down.
Okay, now tilt down a little bit.
There.
Right there, now lock
Hold
it.
that.
Hold it.
Gotcha. Not gonna move it.
Okay, ready? Action.
Welcome to the ideal boardroom. I'm so excited to be here because I've dreamed about a day where I'd have a boardroom like this. As my dad always says, if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. I'm absolutely in the right room. So thank you all for joining us. We have the incredible, my incredible co-host, Ken.
Are you in the right room or the wrong room?
I have no idea. I know the cameramen know where they are. And, you can cut that.
That was the best
In the wrong room. You said, if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the right room. That's why I said you were in the right room and you were the
shit.
smartest.
Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. I am way smarter than all of you. I'm a middle-aged white man. Doesn't that mean anything to you anymore?
That's why I wanted to know if you were in the right room.
No, I'm just-
Okay, let's try it
I
again.
love that. Sorry. Good thing we have plenty of tape. Welcome to the ideal boardroom. I'm so excited because I dreamed about a day to be in a boardroom like this, and this is what I think all boardrooms in the future should look like, and very appreciative of it. As my dad always said, if I'm the smartest one in the room, I'm in the wrong room. I'm absolutely not the smartest one in this room, so I must be in the right room with all of you wonderful people, especially my co-host, Kedma the Giggler, and of course, Precious, our two co-hosts, and Deneen is our mentor extraordinaire. But most importantly to you, we have these extraordinary investors that are going to give you constructive input on how to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. The floor is yours.
Hey everyone, I'm Kyle Walgren. My company's Edsoma. It's real-time literacy with real-time data. I'd like to ask you all who have kids, if you could show hands. It's an easy question. My next question, what would you do for your children to give them a head start? I think we could all agree the answer is anything. For me, anything for my kids, or actually, I was born and raised in Canada. I moved to America 5 years ago on an E2 investment visa. When COVID hit, the challenges for me were that my children were in Canada and I was no longer allowed to cross the border. I had a 6-year-old daughter who came to me and said, "Dad, the thing that I miss most is bedtime stories." Being a father, that melts your heart, and you're going to do anything to change that. I started looking for solutions to be able to engage with my kids at nighttime and give them bedtime stories, but while I was doing that with the options that were available, I realized that my literacy skills weren't very good. And so when I started looking into it, I realized that there was 54 million other American adults suffering from the same issue. The reason I'm here today is to raise $2.5 million on a safe. We've already currently actively raised $100,000 to date, and I've actually bootstrapped this entire project from start and have almost $1 million of my own capital tied up in it. Edsoma is an education technology that uses voice recognition, word identification to identify the weaknesses in a reader in real time. We've currently partnered with groups like Metametrics to identify the weaknesses in the reader and be able to provide you a real-time Lexile score, which will eliminate standardized testing in the schools. We'll just get you to pay attention
Meet
to the
Lisa,
video here.
a loving daughter. Lisa's missing her dad, who's working overseas and wants to talk to him. That's when she had a surprise video call from her dad. Guess what? He called her using Edsoma. What's that? Well, it's an app that leveraged AI-backed voice identification and live follow-along word recognition technology to ensure that a child reads correctly. It allowed Lisa and her father to read their favorite story together in real time, while its word recognition software corrected Lisa whenever she mispronounced a word. Lisa's grandmother would join them sometimes and enjoyed the real-time interactive reading experience together. Edsoma promotes quality engagement through family time interactive reading while helping a child grow in confidence by engaging in adult-to-child, child-to-child, or self-child learning. It's time to be a part of Edsoma Reading Revolution that promises to create future leaders.
So as I mentioned before, that there's over 54 million American adults that suffer from literacy issues. The extent of those literacy issues is they can't read the basic menu in a restaurant. So with there only being roughly 340-ish million people, this is a big problem. We've found studies that there's over $2.2 trillion a year missed out on in the U.S. economy due directly tied into literacy issues. And over 1.2 million students drop out of high school because they can't read. And the solution's actually quite simple. 6 minutes a day will increase a child's reading level 1 whole grade in under 8 months. And actually with 20 minutes a day, you're exposed to almost 2 million words, more words a year. With our technology, we've used voice recognition with word identification to actually identify those words. We have a patent pending technology. We're the only thing of this nature that's around. I started the app. I started doing my due diligence in late 2020. I found a team to build the app for me. In 2021, I hired a third-party development team in India to build the app. I realized really early on that they were guest people and they weren't creators. So at that time, I decided that I needed to pivot, and I started hiring my own staff. Today, we have 13 developers in India and a complete operations team of, I think we're at 19 people total. Since then, I've been able to live beta test the our iOS application and onboard over 100 titles. We're currently building the Android version that will be compatible with Chromebooks, so we can implement it directly into any school across the country. And we've actually have contracts to launch pilot programs in 6 different states and over 28 schools. And then we'll be doing at Frankfurt, Germany, it's the world's largest book fair. It's actually where Barack Obama launched his memoir. We'll be launching a part of our product that's called Live Library, where the authors can actually log into our platform and read to every subscriber the way that the book was actually written. To date, we've realized that our total addressable market is $255 billion. That's a large number, but our actual market's about $5.4 billion. That's the reading market in the ed tech industry alone. So we still feel that there's a lot of money out there to be had. These are some of our competitors. You'll see a company by the name of Baiju. They're currently just raised around at $800 million with a $23 billion evaluation that's planning on IPOing next year. They've recently acquired a company called Epic, who I would say is our direct competitor. I'm sure you're all familiar with them. But the main thing that's different between Epic and us is we have the capability to share the content in real time anywhere around the world, and then our technology that identifies the reader where they're at and providing them a solution in real time. So as you read, we'll actually be able to pick the content next and provide it to them as they read. And then we can take that information that we collect through the reading and then provide that to the teachers. The value that that has is it gives the teachers the opportunity to pull a child out of the class and offer them extra assistance in real time. Before, the solution was that we'd get to the end of the year, we'd do a standardized test, we'd identify that our children are 3 years behind. They'd go to summer break and they'd come back and start it all over again. So for us, we can do that weekly, daily, whatever they want. This year we're on track to do 614,000 with the contracts that we have. Today we've done $0 in revenue. We start generating revenue August 1. And we'll do 614,000 with our contracts that we have in hand based off the beta results. We'll be able to scale that to over 80,000 active subscribers in year 2, putting us at 7.7. That sounds like a great number, but we're still not profitable until year 3, and then moving into year 4, obviously we will be. I've created the product. I find myself to be the Henry Ford of this company. I don't have to know everything, I just have to know the people that do. In doing that, I reached out to a lady by the name of Dr. Diane Burton. She's our Chief Education Officer. She holds a PhD in early children's education and early literacy, and she sits on multiple education boards for the state of California. And if you notice the last name, this is her son, Steve, who she taught how to read, and he's developed the technology for me. I told him what I want, and he's relayed that in programmer terms to our team in India. Everybody wants to know what we're going to do with the money. I could do that fancy chart that says we're going to use it for operations, development, and marketing, but I felt like it would be a little bit better if I told you that we're going to onboard 1 million users by year 3. We're going to release ultimate or secondary versions. We have a plan to have an avatar feature added to our platform. That avatar will be able to pick up the mannerisms of the parents in case they're not available, and then the kid will be able to interact and engage that to kind of gamify the reading journey. We're actually currently negotiating with multiple children's metaverse platforms to be able to take that avatar feature and then implement it into the games so we can reward those children. And then obviously our break even, I was telling you that it is at 24 months, so that's what we plan on doing with the capital. My name's Kyle, and this is Edsoma, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have.
Well, it's nice to see a complete pitch.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I'm more curious in missing? Because I'm perplexed at this time thinking about it. I can get into further numbers, but if you had the amount of time you had and what you gave us, you know, I think the only thing I would have done is said, can you see any reason you don't want to move forward?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's my favorite close when you do it right, and you did it right. I'd be curious if anyone has any more
I have something.
nitpicking things to pick on.
I'm not going to nitpick
Good.
because I'm so excited about this. This is a wonderful pitch. You had the financials down. It got me really excited. I'm actually a children's book author.
Oh, wow.
So I would love to be able to, you know, implement my children's books and other authors that I know. The one thing that I love is your research about the literacy and to teach our future generations to read in our current situations, our current generations. My question would be, do you see a growth in the potentiality of having adult readers in books and foreign languages and things like that? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So I love your question, and I'm going to answer in a couple different ways, but I'll answer all those questions. Where I see myself in 5 years is the #1 name in education. I've been super successful. I built and sold 13 different businesses. So I feel like with this business, this is something that I can take and scale and grow and provide a legacy to my children. To answer your question about the parents learning, we created it for people like myself. I felt that if parents were scared to present to their children an option, they weren't going to do it. So with the voice recognition, we can identify the weaknesses in both readers. So we can identify the weaknesses in the parents reading as well as the child at the same time. So if the parent's reading to the child, they're doing it with confidence because they know that they're not going to mess up. If you get stuck on the word, you can select the word and it'll actually enunciate it for you. Then we put that into a workbook to later on bring that content back to them. So we have identified that we do need to increase adult literacy in order to change children's literacy. One of the other things that we've been working on, we've been approached by multiple different prison facilities to implement this system into the prison system so we can start working with parents that have been incarcerated. Statistically, everybody, or the majority of people in prison have a grade 3 reading level or less. So if we can stop literacy, we can prevent crime from happening. It's the reality of it. Some of the best entrepreneurs in the world, and I don't mean this to say this so you should all run out and do it, are drug dealers. They're willing to give up their lives to feed their family. Imagine if we taught them how to read, how effective they could be.
Kyle, one thing, what about definitions of words? Are that included?
Yeah, so I until this week, I used to say we didn't have to recreate the wheel, but obviously that's been done. Literally, that's been done.
I was saying the same thing.
We've connected multiple APIs in order to build our technology, and then with the patent pending is the way that the APIs interact together, right? So one of the APIs that we've added to our platform is the Webster's Dictionary. So yes, we can give you definitions of the word as well.
Fantastic.
Can I just say, first of all, fantastic pitch. Fantastic.
That
I
means a
think
lot
you're the
coming from
only,
you.
I think you are probably the only entrepreneur that we have seen that said who the competitors were, how long it would take to get to break even.
Must have a good coach.
How long it would take to break even, the amount of money that you've put in, really identify the problem starting from where you are and how, and the vision moving forward. You were so crystal clear with that. I don't think we knew what was missing until it was done perfectly.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, great job on what you've done. I don't know what was missing. So I'm gonna set the mic down
And
and
I
give them a
told you
drop
when I
mic.
met you that I thought that you were the best pitch person I've ever seen, so that means a lot coming from you.
I agree.
I have to concur, it's an excellent pitch. Two things. One is, I would love, especially for this product, you close by saying, if you're an investor, here's what we can do. If you're a parent, here's what you can do. If you're a teacher, here's what you can do. I want call of action, because you have teachers in the room, you have parents in the room, and we want to take action today. So it's like, if you're a parent, go to here for beta test. If you're a teacher, get us in the door, because we want to be mindful it's not just money, it's access to resources. Second, I'm very big in the disability community. I have 2 kids who are autistic. I see a huge market in the autism and language development, that can be a game changer. And so I want to invite that's an entire market that can make it explode.
Can I touch on that?
Yes.
So sometimes great ideas happen before the technology can keep up. And that's a reality. For us, it's perfect storm right now. The one thing that's coming up right behind it is facial recognition. So we've identified that the facial recognition will help with understanding, and we believe that it'll also help with identifying autism early on.
Wow.
Wow.
Got chills.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fire!
That was
Anyone else?
fantastic.
All right, I only have one last thing. You just kind of slid in humility, like, oh, I've had 13 exits. I personally, I'd start with the credibility. Like, this is
Right.
not my first rodeo because we're investing in the jockey. You got a great horse, that's for sure, but you're an experienced jockey that's won many times. And
I just want everybody
Bull
to
rider.
understand that I'm still humble. This is all,
fair
for
enough.
me, it's not about the money, and
You
that's
just
not,
slipped it in the beginning, with the same humility.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but I don't be afraid. Only you are and the successes you have.
It's okay to brag.
I haven't had one exit, so congratulations. You not only have treated us with a terrific pitch, but with the perfect board. I appreciate giving me a perfect ending to this. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Great job.
And he's a bull rider, by the way, instead of a jockey.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have the app here if you guys would like to look at it. And
Well, I would like to figure out, how do we get involved?
So right now we're adding people to the beta test every day. It's through Facebook. We're setting it up. You try it for free. It's what's the Facebook group, Dale?
Edsoma beta testing group.
On Facebook.
What's the age?
So right now we're focused on K through 4, just because we realized that the biggest educational gap that was created through COVID is those early ages. Our technology can do it through the entire thing. Remember something called a book report?
Right.
Cliff notes. Now we identify if they've actually read the book. You can read it out loud. The teachers can see how they did on it, and then we can provide that data back to see if those students are actually where they're at.
What about AI translation? I mean, it must be simple.
So, I didn't get to touch on that, I apologize. We've actually been downloaded through our beta group from 4 different countries, so we're collecting data on it. We've identified that the #1 reason for download in outside countries is English as a second language.
For sure. And they'll switch back the other way. Yeah, I'm not starting with AI doing my videos in Spanish and
Yeah.
my wife's
English
like,
is the
"You read
hardest-
Spanish really well. I'm like, I'm not reading it.
English is the hardest language to learn
That's
to
right.
read.
That's right.
Where's the Mandarin?
Well,
That's
English is
interesting.
tough.
Mandarin and Cantonese, I think, would be really tough.
English is my second language. It's very hard.
yeah, the words don't identify as they are, and then you got multiples like they, like all of
That's right.
And what's your equity that you were asking?
On the safe, we've got it mapped out that it'll be about 22% of the business. I've got a $10 million valuation on it, but I feel like I can back up the valuation. One of the things that I didn't release to you guys because the contract isn't in my email right now, currently have Shaquille O'Neal coming on board to help walk us through those, I don't know, into those inner city schools and everything. So we brought him on as an investor and a marketing partner.
Phenomenal.
And what's the minimum investment that people can invest in?
We wanted to make it easy. And I've been saying it on like my whatever reflections, to invest in a company like this with the potential growth that I truly believe that we have, $100 here could buy their kids' child's education with what I truly believe the multiple is going to be on this business today. So start with
$100 minimum, which is
Thank you again.
amazing.
We're all in.